Okay. So let's bring main screen on. And that's good. So then we just want this. No, we want this. Oh my goodness. And then we want this. Okay, I think I'm finally set. Ah! Okay, so now after like what? 90 minutes, it's finally time to initiate the... Oh no, I was wrong. It's 1600 words. 1,667 words. It's now finally time after... Oh no, it's only been 72 minutes. After 72 minutes of starting the stream, it is now time to do my 1,667 word written segment. Alright, here we go. I gotta drink a little courage juice. I never even explained what the story was behind this, but I guess that's what we're to find out, so... Previously on Maly's Monster Movie Monday. Oh, I didn't do... Oh, shit. I didn't bring up my soundboard for the record scratch. Oh! I'm 0 words in and I've already ruined it. Ah! Okay, pretend I have a record scratch sound effect here, right? You know, exactly like that. Hi, you're probably wondering how we got into this mess. Well, you see, it all started back in the Showa 60s, in the original future of the Versus timeline, where Godzilla was killed by Aneb, and the bubble never burst, and Japan became the richest country on the planet, and the USSR never dissolved, and also West Germany, or Germany never reunified, so West Germany is still a thing. It's the permanent 80s retro future. And now, it was about this time that the Teo group bought out Toho. Does this already not make sense? The Teo group bought out Toho, and with it the IP rights to Godzilla. And so in this universe, instead of getting Godzilla vs. Biollante like we did, Toho got to work developing schematics for the most advanced computer machine ever built. This super Mechagodzilla would be built on a small isolated Pacific island known as 8JO, in the heart of an enormous cyber city called Rossum, all under the autonomous command of a hyper-advanced artificial intelligence named Chiron 5. This enormous mountain-shaped facility, called the Asuka Fortress, or Big Boy by the small group of human and Bilsard technicians living there, continued to operate under its initial programming without incident throughout the retro future all the way up to January 1st, 2000, when the Y2K bug caused it to go all bad and declare war on humanity. I guess that was mad and not bad. Okay. However, someone tripped over the cord and unplugged the whole thing, ending the cyber monster's ambition. At least, no, at last. At last, the retro future was safe again. Okay. Woo! But this is so much. Sober me is out of control sometimes. She has to be stopped. But this all changed on July 4th, 2025, when Maly, that's me, on this very stream did the unthinkable, proving to the world that, what did we prove to the world? That not only is Gunhed a good movie, that makes perfect sense, and if you don't get it, that's just because you're dumb. But also, that comm movies are real and powerful, and one such comm movie, Godzilla vs. the Cyber City, was so powerful, it's it opened a time warp in the fabric of space-time and established a video call between the meta-narrative and the retro-future, thereby reactivating the Asuka Fortress, which once again declared war against the meat creatures. Luckily for us, the temporal distortions confused the IP rights because they were owned by different parties in each timeline, effectively nullifying an illegal case and also undoing the concept of death. And so Godzilla returned once again to destroy Mechagodzilla with the help of a wacky ensemble of an exilian twink. Oh my god. Why are the transitions so long? Number 1 cool girl, Brenda Baki. The Mothra Fairies, but ripped. A living Simon toy. It takes so fucking long. Why did I make it take so long? A ragtag group of sushi sloppers, and Haruo. And that's where things would have ended. But the effects of the time stream the effects on the time stream, caused some weird side effects. And so while it seemed that Mechagodzilla had been destroyed in both the distant and retro futures, a small piece of it seemed to be scattered throughout the time matrix. It's here that we meet the Salaryman and the Metal Fetishists. While seemingly ordinary humans at first glance, these chance encounters brought them into contact with the meta-narrative displaced Mechagodzilla cells, which formed a symbiotic relationship with their own, turning them into Tetsuos, or metal. Why, I really hope I don't use that spinny transition anymore, good lord. Into Tetsuos, or metal men, which were then possessed by the vengeful ghost of Chiron 5, and became ghosts in the Mechagodzillas, as their amorphous... God damn it. And became ghosts in the Mechagodzillas as their amorphous cyber Shoggoth masses fused together in a mushroom-like metal tower in order to take over the world. Oh, okay. Now, we here at Maly's Monster Movie Monday were able to hack into the mainframe and jam the signal code to force the movie to end. This successfully halted Tetsuo, son of Mechagodzilla's ambitions, for a new world of stop-motion metal wires consuming screaming skull faces. However, after the timeline reset, the tenacity of the ghost in the Mechagodzilla made it press on. Although the Salaryman and the Metal Fetishist both appeared in the sequel timeline and appeared to be ordinary at first, it turned out they were brothers the whole time, but also this time the Salaryman was straight, and the power of a straight, wrathful mom was able to make this new timeline Salaryman far more powerful, allowing it to absorb an entire cult of Mechagodzilla worshippers, attempting to revive the monster. Unfortunately, this giant metal tank monster of screaming metal faces and one totally non-metal regular angry woman were able to successfully destroy all of Tokyo. Oh, oops, I forgot. I missed one. Were able to destroy all of Tokyo before the credits rolled. Fortunately, with a bit more furious typing, we here at the Maly's Monster... How many times have I said that already? We here in the Maly's Monster Movie Monday Command Center broke through the firewall, and then we all collectively said, "I'm in," and were able to write a confusing jump cut where the Salaryman was human again, and then he and his wife had their kid back, or maybe it was the furnace baby. Tokyo was still a smoldering ruin, but we at least made the editing confusing enough that the space-time continuum rage quit and rebooted everything once again. Now, at this point, the original Salaryman seemed to be satisfied and no longer appeared, instead being replaced by a white guy, while Shinya Tsukamoto was a lot older than he was in the 80s, making his role as the metal fetishist in this new timeline a lot more confusing and seemingly pointless. It turned out that this white guy was actually a child of the half-cyberized Yuko, and, I don't want to say Haruo, because I don't really buy that Haruo was ever that into her, but he's basically the grandson of Mechagodzilla. Being unable to reach Godzilla at this, what? Did I say junction? Do I say time junction? What could I have possibly written? At this junction. Okay. Being unable to reach Godzilla at this junction, and with the realization dawning that the cycle of violence was locking us into a never-ending series of timeline resets every time Mechagodzilla threw a hissy fit, and also the part where none of us actually know how to hack anything, this last time around, the decision was reached to instead defuse all the conflict by just giving Mechagodzilla's grandson a happy ending with his wife and kid, because I guess that seemed to work with the salaryman before, and so there you go. Problem solved. Mechagodzilla is no longer a threat and will in no way ever be resurrected in another 100 years once evil once again rises in the hearts of men. That would be just stupid. It's the most intellectual joke of the entire segment, I believe. This brings us to last week. While the Teo group was largely erased from history, what remained was bought out by the Tedon Corporation on Planet Mines. And while this didn't give them any access to the now long-lost Mechagodzilla project, it did lead them to inheriting some of their surviving weapons projects. One of these, banned in the ancient retro-future past of the meta-narrative timeline that no longer happened, was a bioweapon. I almost said Biolante, I swear to fucking God. It's a bioweapon named Zeram. Oops. That's this guy, pictured here. Said to be an unkillable monster. At first, this didn't really seem like it was connected or in universe, but as we eventually learned during episode 1 and 2 of Iria and throughout Zeram 2, the whole stream was actually a spin-off and was, in fact, canon. While the ghost in the Mechagodzilla is so fucking complicated. It's so complicated. While the ghost in the Mechagodzilla and the grandson of Mechagodzilla may have been pacified, Zeram, a biological weapon over the course of a Type 5 Saturday morning cartoon spin-off soft continuity timeline glitch, came down with an acute case of Geigeritis, and developed the ability to interface with mechanical objects. This was capitalized on by the Tetsuo Corporation by installing a unit inside of a robot, fully melding the two into a cyber Zeram, with the frankly horrifying ability to seamlessly create a zone and suck everyone in the vicinity into it without them even realizing it. This level of fine manipulation over the already strained chronoscape is incredibly dangerous. Of course, even Cyber Zeram was no match for #1 strong female character Yuko Moriyama, famous genre character actor Yukijiro Hotaru parentheses take a shot close parentheses, or take fucking I can take a shot. And some fucking guy. And that brings us to the present. Well, I suppose there is one more small detail worth mentioning. Although, I can't possibly imagine this would have any relevance to either of the films we'll be seeing today. It's just that, although in the end Zeram was defeated, it tried to come through the teleportation matrix alongside Iria at the same time. And then Kamiya and Tepe pull the plug containing Zeram's data so that Iria can come through safely. But Zeram doesn't seem to care and still tries to brute force its way through the teleportation gizmo and Wayas, despite that being, impossible by the rules established in the film. Almost like it can warp technology in any way it pleases now. And so it tries to bioemerge the face of its primary unit and then morph it into a giant biomechanical creature and kill Kamiya and Tepe before they can stop it. But then just before it's too late, Mothra's magical sunlight allows Iria to materialize enough to shoot Zeram's holographic cyberface dead as shit and then fully biomerge safely into the non-zone. So Zeram's dead, right? I mean, it's not like an entity that can create digital pocket dimensions at will and suck living things into it without them noticing, and can completely disregard the physical constraints of hardware as a virtual ghost through sheer rage could, I don't know, still be out there somewhere, drifting through the digital world, looking for any means to reach back into our world. I mean, such a creature could never revive Mechagodzilla or become the new Dark Lord and take up the ancient desire for conquest, right? It certainly wouldn't be capable of changing history so drastically that in the far future, Godzilla never actually appears to stop Mechagodzilla, and so the whole thing just grows out of control forever, right? No, of course not! What a dumb thing to say! Anyways, what's up, Sushi Sloppers? Welcome back to another week of Maly's Monster Movie Monday. On today's episode, it's the 1999 film Virus, about an alien made out of electrical energy which possesses Earth machines to create cybernetic horrors, followed by Blame! A 2017 Hiroyuki Seshida film about a giant robotic city and gray goo metaphor in the far future where it has grown completely out of control. Womp womp womp! Okay, that's my written segment. The end! Okay, stop recording now.